Thanks again for your commitment to the program Politics Today on independent television and radio. My name is Sonny Duke Okosun. In today's program, we x-ray a wide range of issues that are on the front burner in the build-up to the 2023 general election. One man whose name is on the lips of everyone, irrespective of the political divide, is the governor of Rivers State, Insecurity. Since the party's presidential primaries were concluded, so far so good. There's been a back and forth as to where he truly belongs, whether he's going to leave his party, his original party, the People's Democratic Party, or is moving to the APC, or perhaps joining forces with the Labour Party or any other political party or presidential candidate as we move towards 2023 elections. Over the weekend, the picture that surfaced online where he was seen with a couple of other former governors and serving governors has raised some fundamental question. But when he got back over the weekend, specifically yesterday, he said his primary aim of networking and interacting with former governors and even former President Olusegun Obasanjo was to find out what would be the best option for Nigeria and Nigerians in the coming elections. A major talking point, as a matter of fact, our take-up point on the show this beautiful Saturday morning. I have with me here Roy Oribabo. Roy is a public affairs commentator. He's also a politician. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, Barrister Abraham Oviawe will be here shortly, but let's get started. Interestingly, on all political fronts, Governor Insecurity has become a major subject of discussion across the country. I want to get your perspectives on the factors that may have given birth to this seeming this seeming resurgence of the name Insecurity in the political space in Nigeria as we move towards the 2023 election.
To me, Wike, as a governor, especially in his first 4 years in office, I believe in him. I was always with him in terms of monitoring his activities, in terms of the leadership style. He was one man that was very tall, But very unfortunate, for some time I have departed from that. And that is the reason why, for me now, with due respect to him, I don't have any regard for him again. It's quite very unfortunate. This is my personal opinion. One, Wike is a man, I believe from a distance, a man of integrity. You recall during the campaign, he aspired to be the president under the platform of his party, PDP. And he had boasted to all of us, and he told us that he's the only one man who have deliberately and consciously remained in PDP over the years, and he had been there, He contested for election, and he lost. When we expect him as a party man that he have petted over the years to maintain that level, than resulting to this level. To me, you hear Wike today, Wike conspicuously told Nigerians that he was not interested in vice president. He said it, no matter of time. And that's the reason why some of us, immediately he lost the primaries. To me, I expect him to rally around. He also went further, you recall, that anybody who wins, that he's going to support with all his logistics, with all the power, with all the energy. He boasted at that level. What we expect for him to maintain that, at least that decorum, to sustain it, Wike at the time deviated. That since he did not win primaries, the party must go down. And that's the point of my departure for him. One Wike, what is the issue? You went for an election and you lost. What are you supposed to do as a party man? You rally around those who you contested with, so that it is the supremacy of the party that's supposed to be on the issue, not on personal ground. But we can have reduced everything to personal ground. A man that's hitherto to be celebrated by all of us, it's not a man that people are not making mockery of. To the extent no manner of personality want to see Wike because he keep on placing people on suspense. Tomorrow is here. And very lastly, you see Wike in London, in Germany. I would not be surprised if you see Wike in Afghanistan tomorrow. Because he have delayed. What was the issue? You are a party man, you lost an election. And I was thinking that when he was contesting for this primary, I was thinking that Wike was a political, he so have a superstructure in PDP to give him that presidency. I never knew that he don't have it. You look at what happened in APC. We were told that Bola Ahmed Tinubu knew, I want to be president. And he was able to mobilize even people who don't have aspiration to say, go and pick form. When we get to that level of aspirant discussion, you should be able to support my interest. And you see the way and manner he marshal it out. You see the way and manner he follow it to the latter. And at the end of the day, he got result.
Okay.
Instead of Wike to just sit down and plan a body, how he will survive, he remained in Port Harcourt and he will begin to terrorize everybody. As if PDP is not a tissue paper he can just use and all. And that's the reason why my point of departure for him.
Okay.
The reconciliation is calling for. To me, see Martina, that was
let me pursue that. I'll bring you on shortly. If you just join us, it's State Politics Today on independent television and radio. We'll take a short break. We'll have Barrister Abraham of Yahweh join us shortly. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us on the program as we get the conversation on course. Barrister Abraham of Yahweh is here with us. Barrister Abraham of Yahweh, thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much, listeners, and I'm glad to be here once again.
I'm sure maybe while driving here probably followed up the opening lines on the conversation that Governor Wike of Rivers State has become such a major talking point, a subject of discourse as far as the 2023 election is concerned. Isn't that a testament of his relevance? Isn't that a testament of his personality and character going forward?
For me, ordinarily, you see, politicians will always be politicians. If he was made the vice presidential candidate of the PDP, it's doubtful that he'll be involved in all this moving back and forth, trying to play the role of a patriot, trying to open the space to fraternize with other members of other political parties, trying to interface, speak like critical stakeholders who believe so much in this country beyond party line. I've been able to do that all through. I will wrestle with the temptation of getting myself involved with their internal politics in the PDP, which has given birth to all this. The point being made is that he's aggrieved. He's trying to show to the leadership of his political party that he has capacity to either make, or he may not have the capacity to make them, but he has the capacity to man them. What he's trying to show to them, that he has influence, support base, has capacity to attract people from other political parties whose presence currently amounts to threats to each other. And as such, I think that is what he's doing. All this particularly will make his political party want to sit on the table with him and negotiate with those things which he feels will make him be at equilibrium, having be shortchanged, according to them, from being the vice presidential candidate, having lost the primaries to their party flag bearer. I feel that's what he's trying to do. But to my mind, I do not see that they truly mean well for this country. They are concerned about their selfish and political gains. And that is radically different from what Nigeria desire at this time. Nigeria desire a true leadership that will understand the dynamics, the polemics and politics of this country, and to turn the fortune of Nigerians around and direct them toward the path of posterity. We are at a critical time in our country as we speak. Everything is going down. The economy has nosedived. The country is dwindling drastically to a vanishing point. And we need people of good mind, not politicians. We do not need politicians this time. We need leaders who are patriotic, who believe so much in Nigeria, and have the capacity to understand the major challenge, because we need a round pipe in a round hole. What we have had in the last 8 years, with deepest of respect to them, is a square pipe in a round hole. And if we allow ourselves to fall into the hands of individuals, I want to look beyond political parties at this time, because Nigeria is in a critical state, and we need those that have the capacity, that have the will to wrestle these individuals who have made Nigeria an insecure state, who have made Nigeria to be at war with itself. We need a leader with courage that will not be carried away by sentiment as to religion, sentiment as to tribe, sentiment as to political party. We need a leader who will be ready to use the carrot and stick approach, who will be ready to wield the big stick where the need requires for the good and generality of the country. We need a leader who will be able to see very clearly the pains the average Nigerian has found himself into. We need a leader who will be able to turn our pains around and direct this country on the path of posterity and progress. That's what we need at this time. If all these activities, this gallivanting by Governor Wike, it has its relevance, make no mistakes about it. He has his stake, make no mistakes about it. It's not a pushover in the politics of his state and also have influence over other governors, and he has friends and stakeholders, and make no mistakes about it. But I'm saying that if all this will sum up to change the fortune of this country towards the direction of posterity, even though I doubt, let it be. But I'm concerned about liberating this country from where we are, because Nigerians are leaving this country in droves. What I mean in droves, if you visit the embassies of these countries, I've had the privilege of being there several weeks ago. If you visit these various embassies, you will see the unfaithfulness of Nigerians to the plight of this country. Nigerians are no longer patriotic. They have had enough. They want to leave this country to a country that has a system. Even though they are professionals here, they need to go and be doing menial jobs to survive there. But they are assured of the future of themselves and that of their country. We're in a country now where nobody can be assured of his life, the safety of his life. Anything can happen at any time. The country will not be at a halt. The country will move freely. They will only sympathize with you for a few days, maximum 9 days, and that is the end. Nobody wants to be caught in this pain and challenge that leadership has forced on the people. Nigerians are living this country. We need a leader to offer quality leadership and make us have faith in this country. From where this country is currently, Nigerians are pained. Nigerians are worried. They are at liberty to go for anybody who is able to speak to them in a manner that shows that there is sincerity of purpose. This gallivanting we are seeing from this person, they must hurt it. Nigerians are thinking differently. They are moving towards a path for which they can change the fortune of this country. Our children are growing, they begin to ask us questions. How are we able to change the fortune of their lives? We were not born with silver spoons. Our parents gave us reasons why they couldn't do X, Y, Z for us. We took those reasons from them. The children we have today, we ask us questions. When my child never asks me a question I cannot answer. Out of that, why I must join hand with the mass of the people to speak truth to power to liberate this country one after the other. We must take pains to look at each of the candidates. Leave politics, leave sentiment, leave religion. We must be realistic to ourselves. We must ask ourselves deep and critical questions. Let's not be carried away by the social media. We must be sure at this time that whoever is coming will not come and speak to us like we had 8 years. Okay. Some of us joined them to campaign in the last 8 years on the need for a change. But that change has become a cause and trouble to us. We will not go towards that direction again. We must liberate ourselves and save this country. Nigeria needs help. Nigeria wants hope. All right, right. Let me
come to you, Roy. Quickly, you raised the issue about the fact that Governor Wike, having lost the primaries, started acting, differently. But you're also aware that in the process of choosing a running mate, a meeting was held where a mini election took place, which he won convincingly. And in the history of our country, we've always had several instances where people probably they're not interested in a particular office, but others will see that such a person has the capacity. They rally around that person to get into that office. We've seen that happen a number of times. I like to...
Yeah. And that's the reason why Nigeria is not working. You can't continue to do the same thing and expect different results. That's why Nigeria is not working. Wike deliberately, with the highest level of effort, told the world that he's not interested in VP. The man did not hide his feelings. He's not telling me at 21st century, especially now, with what have bedeviled this country, we will not go and prepare a man who was not ready for a position, who is not going to give account to us. Wike in that division was not ready for VP-ship. He clearly stated that, and that's the reason why I supported Atiku. When he said, no, I will not pick this man. Despite the overwhelming, it's not election. If you don't contest an election, they cannot award this cause. You know, and that's the reason I was bothered when my brother here was talking about shortchange. Nobody shortchanged Wike. It was Wike more that shortchanged him. As far as I'm concerned, his politics is direct. You must stretch off your hand. If you don't ask, nobody will give it to you. Just if you listen to Wike last week, he was also shouting that he don't want to be minister in 2023. I don't want to be minister. And I told him that this man has started again. If they don't nominate him for River now, if they eventually succeed, he will not say they did not give him minister. He will not try to. And also, what struck me is that PDP as a political party, I found that they are not formidable a lot. It's very unfortunate that PDP as a party I have admired for some time, you know, usher in democracy. That's why they have not been able to be there to give us a sense of belonging as a Nigeria. I expect them to be more organized. Wike is a unit of PDP. And Wike cannot just deliberately hold PDP to ransom. Are you not telling me that all the members of person who register in Rivers State, it is Wike that will not tell them, people who register in Chuba, Wike will not tell them, vote for this party. People who register across Kwere will say vote for this party. So persons, we celebrated persons today. That's the reason why our institutions are not working. We are looking for one superhuman being. All of a sudden, Wike is now God of men. People are now to the extent that it's even undermining our economy. You know, if you take in terms of calculation, how much Wike have utilized in terms of globalizing and working around the world in the name of saying he wants to go ahead meeting. If Wike decided to come for a meeting in parts of Benin, in parts of Lagos, in Port Harcourt, and the people are working in that hotel, the persons are there discussing and deliberating, and persons working there and is able to say, give me a bottle of water, and he pay for that water. Don't you think he's helping our economy here? But he deliberately refused. It's not patronizing those who have colonized us over the years, who went us to the level where we are.
Several meetings that we had across the country.
We have to.
Lagos, in Abuja.
That is the reason why. What is so special about not the legal arrangement? Anything that shows to me that those persons, with due respect to them, want to even preside this country, they don't even have what it takes to manage us, because they believe the real reason why they are in labor, they run to labor, they are not there to settle this meeting. They are always there for their medical checkup, because over the years they have refused to develop our system to work. Since our medical system is not working, they go to UK and tell you that they went for a meeting. What kind of meeting? A meeting that is not last. None of the meeting they had that lasted for an hour. What kind of meeting? Do you know how much is involved? That is my pain about this country. I read the first page of today's Vanguard. You see the level, what is happening in Zafara. I hope you saw it, what's happening in Zafara. To the extent and the bandit, the terrorists, we tell a man, go and bring your wife and daughter for us for a week. After that, we come and pick and say that we allow you to live. Nigeria have degenerated to this level. In Afghanistan, where terrorists, they are in power. They still have respect for humanity, but in Nigeria there is no respect. And you are telling me we should be discussing with PDP as a strong party, who told them they are the largest party in Africa. Cannot help them Wike? What is going on? What is going on in this country? That will not be celebrating one life. For the past 4 weeks, we have been discussing about Wike in this country. Nobody is bothered how do we work on our economy? How do we build our infrastructure? Nobody is discussing about how do we do that. It's a calculated attempt by Wike to be known in this election. But he's giving us another topic. He has succeeded now to not, he's not acting well as he has succeeded to move us to another level. Now, we are not looking at the issue. We are not looking at personality. Wike is in Lagos, it's not the news and body. Wike is there in the it's the news and body. We decided to society we want to live for our children, as he said. What are the issues? You contested an election, you lost. Haven't you lost for? Because I was thinking that this man was politically smart to know that the people you are contesting with, these are persons, since I was born, or since I started thinking well. Atiku Abubakar have been contesting election. Since 1992, records are there that have been contesting presidential election. You cannot just go to presidency with that man because you believe that Rivers State have money. You can go and change it around. This is a man who will be very calculated. And that's the reason why all the former governors of Rivers State, with due respect to them, because Rivers State have the resources. They all go to Abuja every 4 years. Still, they come in and they want to be governor. Without they cannot, they are not thinking how they will make and how they will arrive at today, but they want to waste the money of Rivers State. Rivers people need to be very careful. Governor, all the run for president of this country, are you not aware? Very just now, Wike also are making run for president. UK also, because River just have resources, there is too much work to be done in River, and nobody is bothered about that. We are discussing UK now, every day, UK. When are we going to discuss the issue? When are we going to discuss the candidates that are running for election? All the candidates, all the candidates we are talking about, they are in London. What are they doing there? They are medical trip, all the name of their doing reconciliation. You lost an election, does that result, is that wrong? Do you need to call for a reconciliation? Was that sorted? We all watched that the election live. Everything was fair. It was transparent. The issue of rigging did not happen. Why are you not saying that the party must come down? What kind of PDP as a party must, not only PDP, the political party must have internal mechanism to discipline their members. Okay. Because if you have that internal mechanism, UK for now supposed to be suspended for PDP. For anti-party activities. Why are you romancing with people around your party? What is going on? You are a governor, I'm not the first governor, not the last governor of Rivers State. I believe quite fundamental that UK, there is a fear that is developing UK now. That he was thinking that 8 years is forever. He's beginning to be done on him now, that he's only about counting years, he's counting months. And that's the reason why you see the man now. From one aspect to another, all of a sudden, UK and all of us celebrated so much, have made very a day. I will not be surprised, I said, that I will see UK in Afghanistan say it's going for military in South Sudan. That is how we are reducing our government and governance.
All right, let me bring you in, Barrister Abraham of Yahweh. Some demands have been made from the Wike team to the PDP presidential candidate to elicit support and bring all of these issues to a close. If you're familiar with these issues, how germane are they, and how do you think those issues can be resolved? For example, calling for the national chairman of the party to step down and perhaps to give that slot to another region or zone in the country, and several other demands made.
You see, Nigeria is an heterogeneous nation. We have individuals from diverse ethnic groups, states, and regions. And you agree with me that governance, talking about even political structures, parties, positions, are tailored in that direction. That's why when you have a presidential candidate from the north, it's expected that that of the vice presidential candidate goes to another zone. That had been the trend. I had followed. I find it difficult to interfere with issues of political parties, but looking at it from a very objective standpoint, the argument, if I had followed very clearly, is that the presidential candidate having emerged from the north, and since the zoning arrangement within the party mechanism, that where the national party chairman comes from the north, it means the presidential candidate is to come from the south. That if by circumstances of their convention or their refusal to zone the presidential candidate to a particular zone, another presidential candidate emerged from the north, it means that the south have lost out from the entire arrangement. If you want us to go into the political party, the election as a united front, let's toss it around. Now we cannot have the presidential candidate and the national chairman from the same zone, from the same ethnic region, the north. Let it come to the south. That is their agitation. For the purpose of their own personal arrangement, I do not see anything wrong with that. But I feel that if they are sincere with themselves, and they're actually concerned about victory, and they will trust themselves before, during, and after the elections, I expect that ought not to be a big issue for them. They've been able to find a convenient way of seeing it through. But because the issue of trust is lacking, and I can assure you, there is no level of reconciliation that can build that trust among them. If any of them emerge, the others become a victim automatically because they have a way of recalling where they are coming from. And that's really the detriment of Nigerians. You will see another fresh battle. That's why some of us are praying very heavily. And these crops of individuals, these traders, are not allowed to find themselves back into power because we'll be in big trouble. And again, it's obvious that the drivers of our economy, it's obvious that those who had the privilege of leading this country do not appreciate the dynamics of this country. If they do, and I make bold to say, Goodluck Jonathan, we fought and wrestled to leave this country, had a better idea of what this country is than this person. I think this is the first time I have to say that. I was one of those who had cried heavily that we will not continue to give our life to a Goodluck Jonathan to take us for that 4 years because we're not satisfied with the level of liberty he has offered. Unfortunately, he has been vindicated, not to the extent that he did excellently well, but to the fact that he had a fair idea of what should be done and had been present for more time. Those who came had no idea, they have nothing, they have institutionalized corruption, which they said they wanted to fight. We have heard of more cases of stealing, corruption in this administration than ever. We have seen the highest level of insecurity. We have seen the highest level to the extent that they had to get these individuals who were said to be mental Boko Haram into the military. And when they still go ahead to arrest some individuals who they say they still see some of them as being part of them. No government can be more clueless than what we have found. Moving forward, we must consign ourselves. And I think personally I agree with my brother. When I said Wike was shortchanged, that is the hue and cry. It's not my place to know whether he was shortchanged. I'm not a politician. To know that if he was shortchanged, that's a business. It's one of the core value of a politician in Nigeria. You must have the capacity to be cunning and tell lies. That is what politics in Nigeria have shown to us. If you must excel very well, a politician told me that politicians we don't lie. We are always economical with the truth. You see how the way they have already placed it. If we can say he was shortchanged, it is not like in my mouth to say he was not shortchanged because I'm a member of that political party. What I'm trying to make here is that they are buying time, and I agree with you absolutely that they are dwindling the economy of this country. Whose money are they using to gallivant from one country to another?
Okay.
It's not the taxpayers' funds.
Yeah, of course.
And I feel that moving forward, Nigerians must be wiser now. Let's not be carried away by rhetorics. Let's look very deeply. Let's be assured that whoever we currently put our support for should have the capacity of changing the fortune of this country around.
Only time will tell. But let's move forward. I've heard people say that one of the biggest challenge we have in the build up to the 2023 election is the issue of insecurity. I mean, Roy just gave us a snippet of that when he said in one of the dailies today he read where it was reported that in Zamfara State, for example, bandits, or if you like, terrorists, would tell a man to submit his wife and daughter for a week if he wants to live in peace, if he wants to be alive.
Katsina.
Okay, Katsina State.
Katsina.
And the man would do just that. After a week, his wife and her daughter will be returned to him. Today, as we speak, there are serious concerns about the ungoverned spaces in Katsina, in Zamfara State, in Sokoto State, in Kaduna State, in Imo State, in Abia State, where bandits are holding sway. In fact, from the list available, about 40 communities or local governments, if you like, where there is a huge threat towards the 2023 election. I'd like to get your take on this as we move towards the election, because every now and then, with due respect to our security agents, they are doing their best to curtail the activities of bandits, terrorists, kidnappers, armed robbers, and what have you. But as we speak today, if we are being told that a major threat to the conduct of the 2023 general election is insecurity in almost about 40 communities spanning Kaduna, Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina, Imo, Abia, and the likes. That's such a huge problem, perhaps bigger than whatever we're talking about happening in the PDP. Let me get your take on that, Roy.
Of course, it's a very disappointing situation we find ourselves in this country. You know, and I'm happy that you also asked this question, because some persons have talked to me, Roy, this person is contesting election, is your brother, you must support. It's from your zone, you must support. It's from the south-south. It's from the southeast. It's from my village, Okodwa. Nobody is bothered about the capacity. Katsina State is where our incumbent president is from Katsina State, of which benefit now to his people. We are in the State. That's our situation in the State. That you can sit at your chest and go and sleep. But go to Katsina State, where the president is from. The people there now extend their wives and their daughter for them to just, you bring your daughter for a week, the wife will be with the terrorists, for the man to be at home so that he can farm. After all, we will say, go back. Or that You, the next couple are bring. This is happening in this country. These are not stories. These are not things that we were told when we were going to. As of today, now President Buhari is from Katsina's day of his benefits. I'm raising this issue so that people are telling me that this person is your brother, is your sister. People from Katsina, now if a man from Katsina they cannot secure Katsina, is it the people from Oko, they are the people from Igwebe who will not secure? We not that man go back to the capacity we are talking about. And we do respect to every person who are even in the race now. When we are talking about capacity, we are so limited to the level that you have to be looking for capacity when there is no capacity. Because the major competitive forces we are seeing now are the persons we have known over the years. These are the persons who have been at the corridor of power. They have not been able to effect any change. They have not been able to demonstrate that serious capacity that they can make things to work. 8 years ago, all of us, I was here defending, giving reasons why Buhari must come. Giving over 1,000 reasons why Jonathan should go. As of today now, the story is not telling. The lamentation we find ourselves there now is the one we have now is even more crude. What am I saying? That the situation we find ourselves, election in 2023 to me, I see it as something that may not likely happen because with the way manner, the kidnappers, the terrorists, the bounties, the way they are holding sway to the communities and local government, a place you cannot access, how are you going to conduct election there? There are many local government we cannot access. Let us not deceive ourselves over it. Records are there. Go and read today's paper. You know that what is going on in this country. I'm not quoting from social media. I'm quoting traditional media where records are available. They are there. If you cannot access a community, you can't access a local government. How are you going to access so that election will take place there? To me, the kind of rigging that is going to happen in this election is a rigging that has never been happening on the forces of the earth. Kind of rigging that have never happened in hellfire. That's the kind of rigging we have to prepare ourselves for this time.
Into hellfire.
You understand? Because the story we are hearing for hellfire, there is nothing good for hellfire. That is what we were told. Therefore, if you cannot access a community, don't be surprised on that day, the result will come out from there. And that's the reason some of us, even at the heart of the Boko Haram, taking care of Borno State, with the kind of result I always call, we ask ourselves, how come over 8 local government, you say you cannot access it? How come this kind of result is coming from there? Have you bothered to ask yourself? If in the last election, when Jonathan casted his vote, we said that we were told that the candidate did not work. Once Jonathan managed to score few votes, the other person. But when Buhari casted his vote in his village, we were told that the candidate vote SNSC, over 790-something people who registered there. It was only one person who did not vote for him there. My brother, you begin to ask yourself, are we really one nation? What is good for the north? How come it's not so good for the south? Right. And that is my fear that the kind of result we'll be getting, that's the reason why I fear, that hellfire might be better to where we are heading to.
All right, let me get your take on this, on government spaces that are under siege by bandits, terrorists, and what have you, and the election.
I always find it difficult to quote Abacha because of his dictatorial tendencies while he was here. I got to meet his ancestors. He said if terrorism persists for beyond 48 hours, it means government is involved. That is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
Then
saying
not now.
Okay. As he then was, telling you that if terror, because he knows what governance
it's all about.
It's all about. Even though in the most crudest form. Now, that is sitting president. We have heard of theories. We have heard of northern leaders engaging the president. That these persons who are bandit our brothers, who cannot continue to reduce our populations. And as such, when we smoke them, we spend billions of dollars to buy Tornado jets.
No result.
How come they are not functioning? Today, you have mentioned names of states, part of which are under the siege of bandits. They collect taxes from farmers before they can go to farm. They have now formed governments on their own, even though some state governments have refused to consume local governments. So that they are now creating local governments for themselves, where they collect taxes, oppress the people. Now elections are approaching. Either of two things will happen. I assure you, That's my deepest of pain for the mass of the people who are yearning for a new direction. These areas that have been held under siege, INEC have told us loosely that collation of elections will be manually. What I suggest to you adequately, results will naturally come from this area.
Of course.
From the government in power. It means we are on a sure path towards a more critical, crude, and pain situation. I think very pain that we live in a country where we have an individual standing, a retired military officer, General Muhammadu Buhari, in his own state. Terrorists still request villagers to submit their wife and their children for them to live in peace. Whereas Section 14, Section 2B of the Constitution says, the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of governance. Today, the primary purpose of this current administration is to make money for themselves, their generation yet unborn.
There's no evidence to that, Barrister of
Nigeria.
There's no evidence to that.
Yes, but there's evidence that they have failed Nigerians woefully. There's evidence that they have refused to secure the various communities. There's evidence that our economy is nosediving. There's evidence that when they came, dollar was less than 200, it's nearly 700,000, 700 naira. There's also evidence that diesel is selling up to 1,000 naira. And there's evidence that it will happen, it's increasing to the detriment of Nigerians. And there's evidence, we know how much we are buying petroleum products. There have been over 300% inflation rates. Civil servants, their salaries have not been increased. But the purchasing power is now hell and problem for them in the coming days. If we do not take the bull by the horn and Nigerians rise up in unison, all the biggest challenge I have found in this country is that we are lily-livered. I tell you, with all sense of responsibility, Nigerians are lily-livered. No protest you see on the street, you still have Nigerians at this critical time still opening their mouth to say they are wasting their time. When governors have become deaf, you need a protest, you need agitation to undeafen the ears of the government that will be to listen to our yearnings and aspiration. I feel that, like I told you, people have explored the options of living the country. A friend told me recently, he said, my brother, I'm a lawyer, we have fought so strongly. He said, but I feel very pain when I look at my children, and I cannot guarantee their future in a country where I have worked so hard to get a job for myself, but I cannot guarantee their future. If it so happens, these children won't forgive me. Now that I realize this fact, I must take steps to take a walk. So our country has shown that they are concerned about themselves. I agree with him, but I think quite differently. But you get to a point, when Nigerians will have to rise up, and the time is near. 2023 is very close. You will agree with me that the consciousness for a new order is higher than never before. Until this current government, my opinion about this current government, we all gave them all the support to reverse the status quo. Today they have failed us. And that's one challenge about politics. There's no conscience, and people are not ashamed. Those who came to you 8 years ago and even 4 years for a renewal, they are still opening their mouths to speak English. I expect them to bury their head. If we were to be in those days, people still have conscience, would have been seeing suicide notes everywhere. Those who were collaborators, who deceived Nigerians, including yours truly, who joined them at that time, I have since come out open to atone for my sins.
You have to.
I was one of those who went on Mount Olympus to say Governor must go. Today, Governor ceasing to be like a saint. He had an idea about this country. Those who were thrown, even though I have told 4 years after, when I saw that they were on a wrong trajectory towards disaster, I was against them. But today it has been worse. Our fears ago have been brought to bear. But my deepest pain and worry is that unfortunately, despite this reality, these persons have remained deeply shameless. They ought to be very ashamed of themselves. No suicide notes. Nobody is hanging himself. They are still coming out. I've been expecting to see suicide notes from these persons. I've been expecting to see them killing themselves, jumping into the Mediterranean Sea, jumping into the Babish, jumping for skyscrapers to kill themselves. How many failed Nigerians? They still open their mouth. I look forward to the coming when Nigerians will rise. We see situations like happening in the Bible where Stephen was stoned to death. To my mind, they have failed us. To my mind, they have disappointed us. But to my mind, they should be ashamed of themselves. I expect their children to be feeling bad that their parents were one of those who are taking this country. None of them have come out to say, we brought this government to you 8 years ago. We didn't know that they would do this to us. We are sorry. They have not apologized. They are pleading justification. May God never allow us fall in the hands of these individuals who are filled with this pain and worries, and they want Nigerians to follow. May God never allow us have a date with them.
Okay, good morning, caller. What's your name? Our first caller on the show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Go ahead with your contribution. Good morning.
Okay, my name is Peter Ekose, and I'm coming from Benin.
Right.
First of all, I want to talk about the Wike issue.
Yeah.
If a that knows that if you don't want people to lead him, then he should not be ready to lead somebody. You went to an election, and one person will win. Okay, what if we can afford? How did he expect the right people to feed? Now, he was saying the other day that he does not want minister. Yeah. This was what he said, that he does not want the office of the vice president, and he was not giving, and he started complaining. Yeah. So, these leaders, I think what the leaders should do, we should just vote for the right person and leave for it.
Okay, I don't know what happened there. That wasn't me, or was it us really? 07083651320. You have that number on the screen shortly, so you can call and be part of the discussion. Roy, let me get your take. I've heard people say, well, there seems to be some sort of a clear-cut departure from what used to be in the past in terms of interest in the 2023 election. How true is that?
Of course, in the peripheral, you can say that. You know, like a mountains on the street, I am not convinced. I am not convinced because I interact with persons every day. I move from one place to another, try to hear person's opinion about this state. They are not convinced. That movement is not there yet. That is the true picture. I am not a man, I don't want to live in denial. That's the true picture. One, there are indices you are going to use to know that people are ready. You know, Anna just told us last week that people are not responding in terms of collection of PVC. And that is an issue. You cannot just mobilize and go and register. If you don't collect your PVC, you are in deficit. And that's the reason why program like this is good. People must take it as a point of duty. And I've also officially wrote to INE that they're not supposed to be using the word now to encourage Nigeria as a collection. That INE should embark on distribution.
Not collection.
Not collection, the distribution. Be moving from one place to another if possible. Not anywhere, because that's what register, you capture a register of a particular location. If God has a point of commitment, it's distribution. We must make it up across the globe. The youth have that tendency to mobilize themselves. But the process, most of the youth are not interested. You know, I've been taking a research about that, even in the US. The older people vote in the US more than the youths. You see the youths at the point of this, they will be interested. But when it's getting to the process, they will continuously be going down. And that's what is happening now. In the process of registering for your PVC, the momentum was high. The mobilization was serious. The determination was a serious one that you can do. But now, you register, you are not willing to collect your PVC. It's the same problem. The leaders must look at that direction. And that's the reason why when my brother was talking, I was listening to him. He laid a foundation that the problem of this country is surrounded around religion, ethnicity. Where are you from? Therefore, for you to move away from there, it's going to be a radical departure. It's not something you are going to negotiate. It's going to be a radical because we still believe, and that's the reason why tomorrow you see here people are still talking about, they can go arrest bishops. Why? Because you want to give a coloration that all religions was interested. Instead of you to be convincing Nigerians that this is what I'm bringing on board. But you prefer to go to one market in suburb of Abuja to run people and say you can wear this shoe. Yes, that is a program last week. And that is the society in front of you. Until we evolve. We must evolve above this level we are now. And that is my biggest challenge.
Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name?
Yes.
Yes, tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Good morning.
My name is
Yeah, I didn't quite get that. Your name is?
My name is from Benin.
All right, from Benin, please go ahead. Yeah.
How to speak to Abraham?
Abusa.
How are you?
He told you it's fine.
Abusa.
Please.
Please, what is...
I don't know. I think you need to call us back. The line is breaking. It's breaking seriously. We can barely hear you. We can barely hear you. It's breaking seriously. 070-8365-1320. The number is on the screen. Please dial that number and be part of the program for the benefit of our listeners on radio. The number is 070-8365-1320. That's our studio line. Please call that number now and be part of the program. Good morning, caller. What is your name and where are you calling from?
This is also, I'm calling from Benin.
All right, go ahead, please. Also say.
It's concerning Wike issue.
Yes, go ahead.
The truth of the issue, any person supporting PDP for now, just because a candidate has emerged, not looking at the type of politics the Fulanis are playing with the Southerners. I think we are doing ourselves a disfavor to that aspect. Because with the Southerners, we are so educated to the extent that we are looking at the issue-based politics. But the Fulani, the Northerners, they are looking at the regional politics, which has, for over a long time, it has relegated the Southerners to the background in terms of politics. This was how we fought Oshomole, and we brought him down. We fought Goodluck, we brought him down. The only voice speaking for Southerners, we are about to fight him and bring him down, which is Wike. I think any person that is politically educated should understand what Wike is fighting for. Yes, there is a personal interest, but he's also fighting for a regional interest there. If Wike is forced and at the end is relegated to the background, the Southerners will never have voice in Nigerian politics again. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that beautiful input into the discussion. Thank you very much. 070-8365-1320 is our studio line. Call it and be part of the program. Good morning, caller. What's your name?
Yeah, good morning.
Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, my name is Comrade Abi.
All right, Comrade Abi, please go ahead. Okay.
So, politics is all about individual. What can you offer for the people? You will see that going to work for the common masses. So, let us bring on board what they will offer for the common masses. That's my contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Comrade Abi. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. 070-8365-1320. That's our studio number. Dial it right now and you'll be able to contribute to the discussion. Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning, sir. This is Shepard.
Shepard, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Benin City.
Yes, go ahead, Shepard.
Yeah, we always talk about UK is not of Nigeria. Everybody has an impact in the country, but out of all the candidates that are just disturbing us or trying to be want to be representing the country, can figure out who are they really chargeable to really that? Are we going to explain before? If you follow to read, you continue find. Now, let me conclude.
I'm afraid I need to take this call out. It's a whole lot, distorted. It's certainly not your fault from the service provider. So if you can call us again, we really appreciate. The number is 070-8365-1320. That's our studio number. Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name? Yes, what's your name and where are you calling from? Okay, go ahead. Let's hear you. Go ahead.
I want to start by appreciating that we speak well.
Okay.
That Nigeria. I want to say that I want to say that one Nigeria. Is it possible for me to give you the studio? Come to you. So that I will the national
Well, we have a serious network challenge. The calls coming in are seriously and heavily distorted, and it's not really making the communication to be a complete one, because we're talking, probably hearing us, but you're talking, we can barely hear you. But let's get back to our studio here with our panelist, Barrister Abraham of Yahweh, as well as Comrade Roy Oribabo. Gentlemen, once again, thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you.
As we conclude, there are a wide range of issues to talk about as relates to Nigeria. Some of them we've highlighted them in the course of this program. What is the level of awareness about these issues, and what kind of response level do you expect to see in the election proper? Let me start with you, Bryce of Yahweh, as we conclude.
You see, when talking about response level, first, the biggest challenge Nigerians are going to confront themselves with is who is the appropriate person to lead this country to the Eldorado. Let's forget about these social media razzmatazz, because I have done my little findings. Majority of what some of these candidates are saying are lies. A man tells you, for example, I have not taken a position, but I'm never neutral. Find a way. There are persons in the past, 8 years ago, the APC government said a whole lot to us. We believed them, but they all turned out to be lies. But because we were determined to drive Jonathan away, we didn't open our eyes too deep to see the depth of what they were saying.
Them who
will not do that anymore. Those who the social space are rooting for as we speak, some of them told us, showed us a wristwatch that they had worn for 17 years. The next day we saw 4 other pictures showing different type of wristwatch on their hands in the last 5 years. We have heard what they have said. We have done our own verification. We have seen that they are not true. So in the coming days, we'll be able to ask us, put it up performing comparatively. If what they have said are not true, have the capacity of affecting the quality of governance, they also promise us. If we are unable to believe them on this part, or whether they have said freely, in the same manner they have told us about the quality of service they want to render to the Nigerians, if it is convenient to also believe them on that space. And no one man you push something to just go hook and sinker. If I have not learned any lesson I have learned in the last 8 years, and I will not be allowed to be driven by any mass movement which is pushed by deception.
Okay, all right. Ron, is it a case of a bigger evil and a lesser evil in the choices that we make in the country?
Of course, that was the reason I said the 4 contending forces now you are saying, they are not strangers to us, none of them. Tinubu, he was asked, what do you have for Nigeria? He said it is his turn. That one is settled. He's not telling you, I'm going to make Nigeria to be more better. I'll settle that. They asked Peter, what are you doing? Say, I'm Nigeria from a consuming nation to a producing nation. Settle. Kwankwaso said, well, I will make Nigeria a better place. Settle. You know, then Atiku is saying, I am going to take power to the people. I will make sure there is state police. We have been talking about the evolution of power. Let the federative union be potent. He said, I will do that. My fear in all these things, in all these issues they have highlighted, we have the internal mechanism to hold them accountable for it. A critical remains very just now that when Buhari administration, when he was campaigning, I would make $1 to $1. When we further asked him again, he told them it was not for him directly, it was for the party. As if that was not enough. They told us as students, we no longer go on strike, that there's going to be a student, not even a scholarship, a phone that will be given to students, that they will do all this. And all of us was happy that students, people in the school will now enjoy freely. And the issue that we did not ask them, how are you going to do all this? We were carried away. And that's the reason why when you see talking about Jonathan, if Jonathan is coming back to this country to rule us, I will also mobilize against him and vote against him. Because he was just doing that was the reason why we went for this, when we found ourselves now. We cannot. We are not better, but that is not a fail. If you have a child who failed last session and the other one still failed, you can also because that one was a bad. What we have now, in the life of this country, we don't need somebody who will repeat.
All right, my time is up, Roy Rimabo. I want to thank you, Barrister Obiawe, as well, for coming on the program. To our callers who made effort to be part of the program, we thank you for your commitment. We apologize. We couldn't really take much call because of the distortion. But I can tell you for sure that everyone who is contesting to be the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in taking over from President Muhammadu Buhari have their inalienable right to do so. But we'll look at their antecedents, we'll look at their capacity, we'll look at their integrity, look at what they are bringing to the table to make the choice. For me, it's a case of you have a bigger evil, or you have a big evil or a lesser evil. You have a bigger evil, and then you have the biggest evil. Then, which would you go for? The biggest evil, the bigger evil, or the big evil, the lesser evil? The choice is yours. And as we move towards 2023, many of this issue will be at the front burner. You take the best decision and ensure that you vote wisely, but ensure primarily you get your PVC. It's not enough to register. Registration doesn't translate to vote. What translates to vote is exercising your franchise using your voter's card. That's my takeoff on the show today. Thank you so much for staying with us. Have a beautiful weekend. Bye for now.